Hello, hello, this is Jelly Bling. This is a second project using the Citrus Blooms bundle. So the bundle includes stamp set and the dies, and that's what I cut out these oranges with. Isn't this a beautiful card? But personally, I love blue and white and then add in a few pops of color. This ribbon, it's called glittered ribbon. It's in navy, and I think that is like the icing on the cake. And then the little gems. So we'll be making this today. And we will use Citrus Blooms stamp set, Cheerful Daisies for this word label, Something Fancy for this die right here, and of course Citrus Blooms to cut out the oranges, and then also these green leaves and the flowers. So that is for today. And this is something I like to do where I make 3 cards and I try to make the best cards I could come up with. And you get the card kits for free. If you order by June 29th, this bundle through me, I would love to send you the 3 card kits. So this is the first one. Here's the second one, and the third one should be coming tomorrow or Sunday within the next few days. And I will put all of the paper cut sizes, photos, links for all the products used on my blog, which is jellybling.com. Okay. So here we go. And as I pull out each of the papers and we start to assemble, I'll tell you the sizes of the papers. And then after I tell you the sizes, I'll hold up this little paper with the sample so you could do a screenshot. We'll be using sparkle gems. Here's this ribbon. Isn't that beautiful? That is called glitter ribbon. Navy and gold. This is for all these little leaves. Here is the host code. If you can, use this host code when you order your bundle to make sure that I send you your card kits. And these are papers. So let me show you the inspiration. This came from Linda. So Tony recently had hip surgery and he is doing great. And I think it was from all the well wishes. And whenever I get a card in the mail, I love to share it with you. And every card has been beautiful. And look at this layout. Is that just the cutest thing? So, does this look similar? So I copied the dimensions, and I'll show you where the score lines are and everything. But Linda's card has the clouds in the background, and then these are like continuing, like a big sheet of paper with the same print on it, and it continued all the way across. So I tried to do that with the background paper, because this background paper has like a heavy, bold, big print. And I was like, I'll just put whatever pieces. But I don't know if you could tell that they're all, well, I'll show you on here. They're all kind of continuous. And then also this designer paper is like, oh, it's the same pattern. But I purposely try to use the same strip for each of the panels, because at the top you just see a little dot, dot, dot of white, and that's consistent the whole way through. And then at the bottom, it's cutting the pattern in half so you see a bit more white. But it's better when it continues across all of them rather than it just being random pieces. But again, I'll show you that on here. Okay, so Linda, thanks for the great design. I love this. So this is for words. So I'm going to take all these little pieces off. Hold on. Keep them in order. So the product suite is kind of everything that you need. Like, isn't this just a beautiful display? The product suite is called Mediterranean Blooms. It includes 4 pieces, and the item code is 163-300, $83. You get the bundle, the gems, and the paper, which is what was used to make this card. I added in this new ribbon. What is it called? Striped iridescent ribbon. But for today, we will be using, well, the gems were used on here. Can you see how pretty those are? Those are called opal assorted gems, or opal round assortment. but they come in the 3 different colors, and any of those 3 would work beautifully on here. So the bundle is great. We'll be using our score trimmer, and let's just get started building this. So I'm going to work from the bottom up. So the bottom is right here, and notice how I'm keeping the pattern continuing across all these papers. This one here I might have, well, it's close enough, you go, because I have it over here. That's okay, because I cut 2 sheets at a time and it's just a little bit off, but you won't be able to tell. Okay, so for the base paper, it is cut to 4 1/4 by 11. Designer paper, 2 of them, these 2 right here, are 4 by 2 1/2. The big designer paper is 4 by 5 1/4. And these pieces that I'm titling Movement, let me put them over here. Those pieces are 3 inches by 9 3/4. The designer paper is 2 of them at 2 3/4 by 2 1/2. And the big piece is 2 3/4 by 4. And to stamp the oranges on, that is 3 5/8 by 4 1/4. And this is for this little label right back here. And you could just use whatever like scrap you have around that the die will fit on. But this one is 2 1/8 by 2 3/4. This green piece, again, shaded spruce. This can be whatever you have laying around that will hold 4 little branches. This is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then for the word label, that's just scrap. Okay, so let's start out by cutting this one. And this is from Something Fancy Dies. So I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so that will go right on here. Well, let me hold this up so you could do a screenshot. So for this card, these are the measurements. Okay. Let's do the scoring. All these pieces are right in a row. It's hard to disrupt them. Okay, you all stay right there. And these can stay here. Okay, so on the base paper, I'm going to score it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Can you see it down here? Right here. Okay, 2 3/4. By 5 1/2. And the movement piece is the same score lines. 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, we are done with the trimmer scorer, which is a great tool. Okay, so let's fold these. And just start attaching pieces. Okay, let's do these right here. Isn't this beautiful paper? I love it. So this one, when I put it on, I'm going to look at the pattern. Get some more this way. This is going to go, I'm doing it upside down. This will go right here. and I'll wait to stamp on this before I attach that. So this is done. Now for the base paper, let's move these pieces over to here. Make sure they kind of line up still. There it is. See how it's like a continuous pattern? If you're doing just one card, it's no problem keeping them straight. If you're doing more than one. So this is a grouping called Avid Stampers, and if you order the bundle by June 29th, I will send you these 3 card kits, and I'll do as much as I can without doing any of the stamping, but I'll have it mailed to you. It'll take me a few days after June 29th to make up the card kits. I'll get them in the mail and get them out to you for free. Okay, yeah, that goes there. Okay, so if you look at this, it's like, oh, other than that orange image, it is almost done. So, and the designer paper is really pretty. This project, this was hand cut from the designer paper. If I turn it over, you could see the print. And there is a sheet that has oranges on it. Where's that paper? Because if you're like, I don't want to color that and I don't want to cut it, you can flip through here and you could do more lemons. Or you could take some of these oranges and just cut these out instead of doing the Stampin' Color oranges. And those gems that are in the suite, those are very nice. Sometimes in the suites, things are put in there and I'm like, well, I don't know that I'll use that. But with this suite, I love everything in there. It's just 4 things: stamp set, dies, paper, and the gems. I'll definitely use all those. Okay, so this one I'm going to put glue right here. And I know that that's not enough glue for the touch points, but I know that it's not too much. And then I'll put glue right on here. And get this folded over, put that in place, and put this right in the middle. I'm looking at here and over here, making sure they're equal. And I did tuck this bottom flap down underneath this top flap, and I'll show you what I mean there. Okay, so when you open it up, it's how it's going to go. But see this flap right here? This part, it goes underneath the top panel, just a little bit. I just don't want you to have glue all up there. You could probably salvage it once you open it. Okay, now that that's done, I'll put glue all over the underside of this panel. Trying to do it thin so it dries quick, and especially to the edges. A little bit there. Then kind of close it up and attach it. So now I know it will definitely fit in the envelope. Dry. Okay, so this is for 4 bunches of leaves, and there are 4 dies, which is very nice. It's probably a little bit too much paper. You could do more if you want. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out. And they are right here, and that's going to go on this part. Let's see what else. Let's do this. Let's stamp this label, which is this label. So in boho, and you know, in doing the previous project, using this die, I don't know why, and I even put the die straight on the block, but I kept on having it turned. So when you look at the pattern, See how there's like 4 corners? You want them in line with the paper. But for some reason I kept kind of turning it. So this time I'm going to do good. So this is boho ink. I'm going to do it full strength. Straight up and down. And what's really nice is it kind of perfectly fits on this tag. Well, actually that looks pretty good. I like that though. And so then I'm just going to do just like little shadows of more color on here. Try to keep them straight up and down. Just a little bit of interest. Here, I'll hold this up close. Not that it's hard. There it is. Isn't that fun? So then in Memento, I'm going to stamp the word hello. And I'm going to try to get it straight because this is kind of a swanky hello. And I have a tendency to get it, this time it's better, but on the sample, it kept on kind of going uphill. So I looked at the stamp case. I'm like, how am I supposed to stamp this? Right here. And I think that it's okay if the L, in between the L's, that drops a little bit low. And I think that's why I kept on tipping it up. But it's just a fancy font. Okay, so this is ready to attach. It's kind of fun. This stamp we just did matches this designer paper. Same pattern, same thing. Okay, so let's stamp oranges and 3 flowers. So in the bundle, there are 2 different size flowers, a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, but there's 4 dies. So there is, I'll just leave them in here. There's 2 big ones and 2 little ones, which is very convenient for die cutting. So here's the 3 of them, and they're already done and colored. And I just did them with some neutral skin tone colors, and I'll show you that when we color in this. Excuse me. So we have to do the big die. Hold on. I always try to do a cough drop before, just because I should. And I didn't today, because I don't feel the cough coming. You know, until it happens. So both of these are going to be stamped in Memento, because this will be colored in. Excuse me. Allergies. Get it inked up well. And there it is. As pretty as can be. And then for the words, these are nice words. You're the best kind of person. I know I could get 2 out of here. Okay. I think we're done stamping. So I will cut these out. Okay, so almost done, not quite done yet. So when you color the oranges, it isn't a perfect blend, but if you look at it from afar, it looks awesome. But if you're really critical of it, you can see, I see one color, pumpkin pie, I see peach, and I see peach light. You see all the colors. And even on the leaves, if you're critically looking at it, you could see all the colors. But I don't think that anyone is going to do that. And I think from afar, first glance, it looks really good. So to color this, the orange, I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie Dark, and I'm going to go around the outside edges. And I'll do 2 layers of color, and at this point I'm focusing on the outside edge. Working on those 2 layers. Tony's outside doing stuff. This is the first time he's put on socks and shoes. Up until then, he's been wearing Crocs or nothing. It's nice weather. Today, he did the works. Okay, so now let me go to the second one. I'm going to do Peach Pie Light, Peach Pie Dark. So I'm going to identify where the lightest area is going to be. Just do it right around there. So that means all this area is going to be Peach Pie Dark. And I'm not really focusing on blending quite yet, because I found that if the colors are still wet, they blend really well. So right now I'm just focusing on getting a couple layers of saturated color. And then I'm going to go back with Pumpkin Pie and focus on that seam. And then before it dries too much, I'm going to go back with the Peach Dark and do the blending. But see how I'm making sure that right now this pumpkin pie edge is wet? Then I could do Peach Pie Dark and blend the seam. And it just helps if both of the colors are wet, because then blending is easy. Okay, then same process with the Peach Pie Light. I'll fill it in with Peach Pie Light. Yep, those are 2 very different colors, which is good. That's what makes the coloring look dramatic. Okay, now working on 2 layers of color. Have the first layer down. Now I'm going to go back with the Peach Pie Dark. And just make sure that that layer, especially bordering Peach Pie Light, is wet. Then go back with Peach Pie Light and do the blending. Okay. So now to do the little flower, I'm going to use Skin Tone Color Stampin' Up! SU 500 in skin tone color SU 1000. So this will be the flower center. One color, no blending. And this will be just a hint of pink on the petals, kind of following the lines the artist provided. Okay, and then we have just a little leaf. So the little leaf I'll do in Shaded Spruce Light, and I'm just going to color the whole thing in with 2 layers of color. But I'm not too concerned about getting right there in that crack and along the bottom, because I know the Shaded Spruce Dark is going to occupy that space in the end. Okay, 2 layers, just solid. And now, here we go. I'll do the seam and the edges. And these veins. Okay, and there it is. We are colored. Okay, so let's build this. So looking at this, I think if I have the stem right about here, which is where the bow would go, I think I could put dimensionals on everything except the bottom of this orange. So a little bit of glue on the stem and dimensionals. That's convenient. Maybe a little one. So this will go right there. Isn't that nice? I'm going to leave a little bit of room for the words. And the words just get glued on. No glue where my thumb is and not at the bottom. Well, this one might be a little bit lower than planned. Hoping the glue, let me check. Oh, just fine. Convenient. No glue showing. Okay, so that is done. The bow. Let's do the bow. So double bow. If you get the Avid Stamper bundle through me, the card kits will come with your bow already done, your gems in a little package. Those gems are so pretty. I don't know why I buy them all the time. It's like I'm hoarding them like I do designer paper. They're just so pretty. You'll see when I hold it up all by itself. Right on here, it kind of all matches and it blends in with the theme. But they're beautiful. And they come in this kind of coppery gold, silver, and black. And you think, well, why would you ever use black? But there's a few times that the black works really well. Okay, so pretty little bow. Maybe. So today, Bo had a bath. Because Tony can't take Bo to the groomers, Bo had a bath with Mom in the shower. Yeah. And I ask him, do you want a bath? He comes over and he looks, and then when I go to grab him, he runs away every time. He's like, why do you go into that chamber? Why do you do that? Anyhow, today he came with. Tony's like, no, let's wait a little bit. I can't, with my hip, I can't capture him and dry him. But as he walked by, it's like, you smell like a little bit like outside, but you need a bath. Today was the day. He's all clean. He's very white. But it took, to get him into the bathroom, first he had to have his necklace off, his collar off. Had to have towels all out. But we had to get a piece of lunch meat. I was like, come on. He's like, oh, heck yeah. Got him in there, and then the water went on. And he was like, oh. Okay, look how pretty these are. Let me have the white behind them so you can see. Aren't those beautiful? So, he's clean. It's nice. Oh, I'm putting 5 on this card. Yeah. 1. 2. 3. Whoop. We'll do more. I was getting carried away. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to put dimensionals, mini dimensionals on the back of these flowers. And they just kind of get put on here in a trio. Just like that. And then these get put on with just a little liquid glue. Let me keep this nearby. So the big one, I think because there's more room down here, I'm thinking right there. But it can't go in the crack because when you fold the card, if the leaf went over here to the fold, it would get creased each time. So I'll put it kind of like that. And I do want to have greenery on the inside so it just looks like greenery back behind the flowers. Okay, so probably on the bottom 2 leaves. Okay, 3 leaves on the stem. Okay, I should have a plan for these. There's 4 of them. These are kind of going different directions. This one could go over here. That looks good. And this one, it's okay if it goes over the fold. But it didn't, but that's okay. There's just a whole bunch of pretty going on. Okay, what do you think? Isn't that just nice? Okay, so 2 more sparkle. Here's a big one. How about over here? Well, because we got sparkle going, it'll come over here. I was going to put it here because there's a blank space, but I want your eye to continue the whole way. Follow the sparkle. I think that's it. Okay, that, oh, while it's still wet, it went into the crease. You know, exactly what I suggested not to do. Okay, let me see if it works. That's good. I think when the glue dries, on here because it was still a little bit wet, therefore I was able to move it. I think it will hold it down. If not, I'll lift up this leaf and put a little bit more glue on it. Okay, that is it for today's project. What? Let me know if you have any questions about Avid Stampers, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.